Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all over the world. Dobson 777A here. What a fantastic ride this has been. Just a little less than 2 years ago, I started spending a lot more time focusing on tangible assets and how they can really do a number for you in your portfolio. And I've had some fantastic reader mail. I might even highlight a couple of them here, but I had one the other day where this guy was saying that he has been struggling to make money with his investments until he started following me the middle of last year, actually 2019, and now he's actually seeing a fantastic return like you would love to see. And here's the numbers. Numbers don't lie. So from the beginning of 2019, gold was 1286. The beginning of 2020, it was 1551. The beginning of this year, 1895. So between these 2 years, it was up 20%. Between these 2 years, it was up 22%. So overall, 47.4%. Now, I noticed the numbers on goldprice.org or something are off just a little bit, but I was just pulling them off a chart. So these are, within 0.5% or something. Silver was 1571 at this date, then it was 1880, and now it's 2646 as of the beginning of this year. So 19% return from here, and then 40% return here, 68.5%. Now I know everyone is sitting here telling me that, gee, you should have been just in silver only, but the funny thing is, when you look from when I purchased at the beginning of 2018, at August, September 2018, gold and silver are the same increase. So silver just caught up to gold. I can see this is a mistake over here. Okay, I had to fix this block here. Platinum. Now this is an interesting thing. I bought platinum early on, and I've been asking people to add to platinum because platinum I felt was probably the most undervalued compared to gold, and I think we're going to see a tremendous run. And already platinum from 2019 to 2020 was up 16.7%, and then from 2020 to 21 it's up 12.6, so 31.3%. And I'm expecting platinum to exceed gold's price. We'll see when that happens. Nobody knows, but starting to see a run up here now. It's starting to happen, so we'll see when this occurs. But remember, I've recommended 70% gold, 20% silver, and 10% platinum. So that would be to limit the volatility, allow you to sleep better at night, and you still get the vast majority of the returns of everything by doing it this way. And I'm also recommending 75% of your physicals. Hold 75% physicals and 25% minors. So this is the minor portfolio here. We started with 19,252 in 2019. It went to 29,767, which was a 54% increase, and then it went to 40,000 this year, so 35% increase. So we've already doubled this portfolio in this amount of time. So I find this amazing that it's working out just as I planned, but we still have not got the phenomenal returns that I expect here in the future. So I hope you understand how this works, that the portfolios that I'm giving you, and I'm working on this right now. I'm not done with the improved portfolio, but when it's done, you'll be able to see. I've got everything laid out, and I've just about completed my research, but just not quite ready to publish yet. But I wanted you to see the incredible returns that we're getting. And somebody else show me where you're doing as well. Remember, the S&P 500 is lagging gold even. So here we're getting 100% return. That's double gold. We're beating out silver by a mile as well, and platinum is 3 times platinum's return. So we're getting the leverage here, and I think we're doing it very safely. Now I'm going to show you a couple articles today because I've been talking about the fact that I believe we're going through the reset, and that's why I have positioned myself accordingly. I am in only tangible assets right now. So the idea is that I expect it's going to follow something similar to what happened in from 1970 to 1980. This is not going to be a step function change like you see on these other channels. They're all thinking that overnight you're going to wake up and gold is going to be 100,000. That's not the way it works. Now, towards the end, It will move rapidly because it will be the slope will increase, the rate of change may increase as we get towards the end, just like the way silver will spike up tremendously. You might see some of that, but I still think this is going to be very predictable, just like the runway. I have been the only one that I've seen that has broke the code and am showing this very predictable rate of change. And there's nothing to say we won't see some step function increases, as we've seen some slight changes, but there might be some significant increases just that give us, instead of 20% return from year to year, you might get a, 50% or more. There might be 100% change from one year to the next. But I'm expecting they've got a runway just for planning purposes. And what I mean by runway is my wonderful pitchfork chart that shows that. So anyways, there's going to be some milestones, and I found some interesting news today that's going to kind of align with what my thought process has been. And remember, I'm not telling you to do this. I'm just showing you what I'm doing, and I'm trying to explain why I'm doing it. I consider myself a savvy investor, and I have done very well in my life, and I'm just trying to share with you so that you can hopefully weather this storm. But you're going to need to have a significant amount of physicals, and then use some leverage, like what we're doing with the miners, and even in my real estate it's leveraged. Because that's the only way you really get ahead in this world, is by using, I call it calculated risks. It's not very high risk the way I do things, but it's a calculated risk, and it pays off handsomely. Now, Sovereign Man talks about this may be the year that the world loses control. And they talk about the national debt, what it was way back in when Andrew Jackson was there, and he paid it off. It was $5 million. They paid it off. But it just was interesting as time changed. It went to 3.3 million, and then in 1847 increased to 33 million, and then we went to $1 billion, then 100 billion World War II, then it crossed 1 trillion in 1980s, 10 trillion in 2008, and now we're at 28 trillion. This does not count all the unfunded liabilities as well. So it's just, this is now going astronomical. The numbers are really hard to imagine the way these are increasing. And so the question is, how long are everybody going to still trust the dollar before they start moving into other things? So we'll see. But I did find an interesting article that somebody commented on, and I went to try to see this on Armstrong Economics, but I couldn't get to it because you had to be a paid member, and it was more than I was willing to pay today. But Armstrong Economics, somebody put a summary together of a recent private blog, and it said the reserve status of dollar will end by 2028. And this is close to that 10-year thing that I've been talking about. They talk about computer models and forecasts, Great Depression by 2022, but also starting in 2021 to 2022 is the monetary crisis, sovereign debt crisis, and pension crisis. And I believe a lot of this that we're going through, this COVID, is to mask the symptoms of what's really going on, and they're trying to blame it on somebody else instead of their own incompetence. Remember, the Social Security thing was raided. There is no Social Security sitting in a bank account anywhere. This is all a Ponzi scheme, and this whole thing is about ready to come unraveling. So you got to realize the government has just totally screwed us in this whole thing. And I just don't know when everybody's going to wake up to understand this. But he's suggesting the Civil War is going to be next year, World War 25 to 27, and World Economic Forum is going to try to get China and Russia to join this green agenda, which is just a way to pilfer money from all of us. But they're going to fail and destroy all Western culture and its economies before being stopped. 2028 is the start of the real collapse for the U.S. and the end of the dollar as reserve currency. And this collapse lasts over 4 years to 2032. And from there forward, it's the final breakup of the U.S. Massive debt, massive social obligations, massive tax increases, coming wealth confiscation, draconian authoritarian controls to keep the population in check, massive mismanagement of theft by politicians, Wall Street oligarchs, and attempting to implement the Great Reset while exiting, or the existing system has been collapsing, will bring the U.S. to its knees along with the West as it all breaks up. China becomes a world financial center post-2032 as they contract less as the West implodes. Time to learn Chinese Mandarin before it's too late. Does Chinese food in China taste anything like Chinese food in the U.S. and West? Yeah, unfortunately, I remember when Japan, was rising and they were becoming the dominant manufacturing base. Everybody thought we needed to learn Japanese, and that didn't really work out. But there's so much interesting stuff about this COVID to know whether it's something that China released or whether we've actually released to try to slow them down. I don't know yet. This whole thing, China looks like they have a leg up, just like Russia does on their monetary and also their people control. So I don't know if we're going to actually make it through this or not, but I keep telling you to try to prepare as much as you can. And the Sovereign Man, actually, the website talks about making sure that you have a way out in case there is a significant collapse in your country. But you know, if you're a superpower and you collapse, the third world countries are going to be even worse shape. So you have to have a place that you can go to, again, to be as self-sufficient as possible. So it might be worthwhile to try to develop something elsewhere. We'll see. It's just, it'll be interesting whether you can get your wealth out in time before they try to confiscate it. So that's it. I'm still working on everything. It's coming together quickly, but I'm very pleased with the approach that we've made. And so I'm in the middle of the rebalancing and choosing the next stocks, and we'll see how that works out. So that's a report for today. I hope everybody's treating you well. I hope you're doing well. Do the best you can. God bless. So I have to explain, I had to get rid of a lot of the music that I had at the back here because all my videos were getting characterized as like cinematic and music and all this kind of stuff instead of being the investment/prepper channel. So I found this to be a little perturbing and probably a lot of reason why my doggone counts have been going down. So I've only got just a little bit of the section at the beginning and the end, and the rest of it is just the info you need to be able to survive in this complex world. All right, go potty. We gonna go bye-bye? Are we gonna go bye-bye? Here we go bye-bye. We gonna go bye-bye? Yeah, all right. You going to get in the car? We're not quite ready. I'm almost ready. You almost ready? Okay.